By the third speaker, this is Mr. Mariusz Dąbrowski of the University of Bialystok, and he will talk about the economic partnership agreement in detail. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm very honored to be here, but sorry my Professor Grabowiecki couldn't come, unfortunately, today. I try to represent him. My presentation is the EU-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement, implications of Abenomics. So, from Japanese perspective, I will go to Polish perspective. Abenomics is a topic which my professor very likes, but today he's not here and time is running, so I'll try to escape maybe but it will be starting point.
Yes.
Only few remarks already. This is a very comprehensive package policy. There's many this kind of policies, but this one looks more effective than before after 1990, which consists of three pillars or arrows: monetary easing, the first step, second step, fiscal policy, and the third one, this is what is connected directly with the EPA agreement, is structural reforms, and especially growth strategy. One point of growth strategy in Japan was internationalization of the Japanese economy through the FTA agreements. Okay, sorry. Maybe I'll use this one. It's better now? Yes, I prefer this kind of. So, Abenomics and internationalization of Japanese economy. One point of from growth strategy, the first point, very important, to raise the FTA coverage ratio, means the share of trade that is covered by FTAs, from 19%, it was 2012, to 70% by 2018. And actually, last year, Japan and the European Union concluded agreement. Agreement came into force 1st January 2019. So this is, in some cases, according to the plan of Abenomics. Japanese government has planned to implement two big FTA agreements. First, TPA, but now Japanese TPA with a bit different form than initially, because the United States didn't want to join. Actually wanted to join before, when President Obama was in White House, but after President change, President Trump said America preferred bilateral agreement, not multilateral agreement. So I think without America, Japan didn't reach this target 70%, but fortunately, Japan started negotiated again with the other 11 countries, because TPP was 12 countries originally. So, some points about the EU-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement. It covers approximately 30% of world GDP, exactly 28% in nominal values, and about 40% world trade. From my point of view, it's very important that this agreement focuses on solving non-tariff measures. Tariffs not a big problem. I will show you soon that tariffs were not a problem in the trade between European Union and Japan. But this is a very comprehensive agreement which covers not only trade, but public procurement, protection of trademarks. So not only trade agreement. So expected impact of this agreement for Polish exporters. The big potential is in dairy products and textile products, but if you look at dairy products, it's particularly cheese. Don't confuse with milk, fresh milk, because Japan doesn't need fresh milk. I think Japan is self-sufficient in this product. If you look at Japanese plate, you will have about 40% of calories by domestic production, 60% of calories is import. So this is a big chance for Polish food exporters, I think. And many companies is quite active on Japanese market. We lost maybe pork market because of African swine flu fever. Not only Japanese market, but many markets. It was, for a moment, top product which Poland sell to Japan, but everything changed. But usually when we're talking about export to Japan, we concentrate on agriculture products. But there are many companies which sell high value products, industrial products as well. Sometimes we don't see these products. I would like to mention two Polish companies, originally with Polish capital, which sell successfully products to Japan. Maybe I will surprise some of you. I don't know if someone heard about Vigo System company of Grabowiecki. They sell laser detectors which are used in Shinkansen systems in Japan. They cooperate with NASA in the United States. And something interesting when I talk to them, they can provide even more advanced systems than Japanese companies, but actually Japanese companies doesn't want to more advanced. They say they want to be maybe one level behind, but they appreciate especially safety. Japan is country which is aware of something maybe new in this case. Safety is first place, I think. So this is maybe surprising. Japan, a very advanced country, but sometimes doesn't want to the most advanced systems. They want to be one step behind. And another company is Gambit from Lubawka in east, west, southwest Poland, which sells sealing systems to Japan. And these systems work in Fukushima Daiichi power plant, damaged by tsunami. There is problem with leaking contaminated water, but it's worth to mention that Polish company provides system to them. Both companies I mentioned have middlemen in Japan. So if you look at the successful companies from Poland selling products to Japan, not only agriculture but sometimes very advanced, you can see that they have usually middlemen in Japanese side. So they don't want to be direct with final customers, and final customers usually as well doesn't want to deal with them. They prefer to have someone in the middle. If some trouble happens, maybe it's easier to talk with middlemen than contact with someone in Poland. So maybe next slide. This is enquete before negotiated EPA started about the most important factors restricting EU export to Japan according to managers of European firms that export to Japan. And first, this is a scale between 1 and 5. 5 is the most restrictive. The most important factor restricting export to Japan is customer requirements. First, how much do I have? Because we have to go fast.
10 minutes.
10 minutes, thank you very much. So customer requirements. I will give you maybe short personal story. My mother-in-law is Japanese, and this is about customer requirements. she likes travel around the world, and a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago, she went to Venice in Italy, Venezia, and she was with a group of people, Japanese, this package tour, JTB tour operator, I think, was providing this package. It's quite difficult, and she was lost. Group moved somewhere, and she couldn't find a group of people. She was alone, she was afraid, and she couldn't find her group, so she decided to back to hotel. She back to hotel, later was everything okay, but after she back to Japan, she called JTB and said what happened, and manager of JTB and another worker came to her house. They brought chocolates, they apologized her, and even I think they give money back for this one day she lost. In Poland, I think this is impossible. In Poland, people said stupid woman, she lost, and how could she, and how we can give you money back for this lost day? But this is customer is a god, yes, in Japan. So this short story shows customer experience as well. So companies have to know from European Union, and to show this is the most difficult, the most important factor restricting export. Second one is non-tariff measures. So this agreement is why so important, because of, especially because of this. Third one, language, cultural difference, and so on. And the last one, tariffs. So if you look at this agreement, actually the most important are non-tariff measures, but tariffs are not so important. The most important factors are not covered, but EPA actually. Next slide.
They are called invisible barriers.
Yes, invisible barriers. Even you cannot negotiate these barriers. So, and a few slides about tariffs. Average tariffs on all products in selected markets. I've chosen China, Japan, European Union, and United States. So it's not a problem. Average, of course, average sometimes is useless because some products can have very high tariffs. But average is not so big. The United States is about 3.5%. Japan is 4%. This is before the agreement came into force. And 5% European Union. You can compare China, about 10%. So if you compare United States, for example, to China, by the way, you see difference 3 times. So in some way, this chart can explain hot topic last month's trade war between United States and China. You can see on one graph, one of the reasons, many reasons. This is agriculture products. Tariffs are much higher. This is very important for exporters from Poland, because you can see here tariffs. And coming to conclusion, this is non-agriculture, and maybe 2 minutes, and I will finish. Anyway, if you want this presentation, I can send you if you want to see some charts or tables. This is number of companies from EU exporting to Japan. In Poland, we have about 1,300 companies exporting, including these 2 I mentioned before. Looks many, but if you compare to Italy, almost 15,000 companies export to Japan. Second is Germany. In terms of value, Germany is a leader. Only one thing is here. If you take Japan in extra EU export, in Poland it's only 1.3. So I think Poland is under possibilities, definitely under average of these countries, and I think Poland could sell 2 times or even 3 times more products to Japan. And conclusions. I think working. Still, I don't hold. I'm too excited maybe, so sorry if you cannot hear me clearly. So conclusions, Poland has large deficit with not only with Japan but also with all East Asian countries. So Mr. Okada explained why. I think South Korea has similar reason. This disparity is bigger in case of South Korea, but in case of China it's even 10 times. This explanation is not much in China. This is different case. They don't build factories in Poland actually. They want to sell products only. And 37,000 jobs in Poland is relating to export to Japan. If you add FDI created about 40,000 jobs, Japanese FDI in Poland. So customs duties, conclusions, customs duties in Japan did not constitute a significant barrier for exporters of many goods, especially industrial ones, but except of some agricultural products, cheese, for example, cheese or beef. Poland is very active to sell beef to Japan, and the barrier is quite high. And the basic problem of exporters to Japan are customer requirements, language, cultural differences. So many Polish exporters using an intermediary in the Japanese market to overcome the above mentioned difficulties. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And sorry for fast pace.
For cutting your speech. Everything will be published in our materials, so if you would like to have some more comments or just you can also talk to our speaker after the conference. One short question, please. If there isn't, I think there are many questions, so the first will be obeyed.
Okay, we can talk
Okay,
after, yes.
so it was a
I'm available to everyone.
very comprehensive lecture. Thank you once more.
Thank you very much.
And I have one question for you. Do you know what is the main export product from Poland to Japan? The first one, the most important.
And
No
it's
one knows.
It's changing every year. It was tobacco one year, it was pork next year, and
What is the most, prestigious and famous?
I feel something special. Ferris, yes, but I don't know the most important, but famous.
Yes,
One
very
of the-
famous.
Maybe
Because it's
some
such
moment.
a quite high quality, yes, of Polish hook. It's in English, it's feather.
Goose feathers. It was
Goose
used in pillows,
feather,
for example.
Yes, for pillows. So this is very special for the Japanese taste.
Maybe a few years ago was #1 even,
Yes.
for a moment. Yes.
Okay, thank you once more. And I would like to introduce the last